Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. And it would have been a wet welcome if this had happened yesterday. But no, we've actually got a dry day today, calm after the storm, as it were. So, I'm going to take this off for a second. Right, so, this week, I know that I normally do just weekly updates or stuff like that, but honestly, this time, I'd like to discuss something in particular after a bit of a lightning round of updates. So as you notice, I got no outtakes out for this week. They're still on my old computer, so I can transfer them over or something. I can get them done. But also, I've been working on Tales of Sir Nicanorth, and quite a lot of it actually, because I have finished season 1 of Tales of Sir Nicanorth, at least the recording side of things. And yeah, it was quite a lengthy procedure and a lot of things went wrong, so I'm going to have to try and compile those up together. But the reason I haven't uploaded any of those yet, even though I have probably about 4 or 5 episodes worth of content I can actually produce, maybe even 6, is because it's just... Yeah, I was going to say, is because I have to do a cutscene, or I was trying to do a cutscene with a lot of people. And as it turns out, getting people to body act is, again, something that I'm not used to doing. I mean, it's something that I wanted to make enough to be where I actually get used to people coming on, doing a scene and leaving. But the thing is, I wrote in Sir Eddington 4 characters that have speaking parts within this actual scene, so I need at the very least 3 people. You think that would be intuitive, but honestly a lot of people came in just for the voice acting. Others don't have Minecraft accounts, even though I've had to buy them for them, and because I've done that in the past, by the way. I've bought people Minecraft accounts in the past, so if you want to help me out and want a Minecraft account, please do message me, because I need people. But yeah, a lot of people sign up just to do voice acting, so yeah, that's why I don't have any issue announcing that I'm working on a new Gacha series as well. Enceladus, until I get Dana's recording, I can't actually proceed forward with that. That's my fault. I lost that footage, so I need Dana to do her lines again, and she's the main character, so that kind of halts everything, because for some reason that didn't work. But in reality, I don't know, maybe I should just move away from recording the stuff in the recording studio. Maybe I'll just actually use my new microphone from now on. I don't know how much better the quality will be or how much worse. It's worth investigating. But yeah, that's going to have to be halted because I have to compile the order together and then send that over to Dylan, who's going to animate it. So that's why that procedure has not gone anywhere yet, because I haven't been able to fulfill my end as of yet. But there is going to be another show at some point with Gacha. It's not going to be fully animated like the Mutant Girl is. It's probably going to be more so in the style of Midori stories, where mostly it's close-ups of the actual characters, maybe some blurry backgrounds and freeze frames, maybe even captions for the actual speech. I've got something in my foot. And it's gone down to my shoe. That's not gonna... Every time I do one of these, I always end up getting something in my shoe. Right, I guess that's better than the alternative, which is probably stepping in a pile of feces or something. Where was I? Yeah, so that will require some casting as well, but honestly, getting voice actors versus body actors is comparatively easy, as I have found. I mean, if I can't get 3 people at the same time to do a scene, then chances are that it's not going to go completely to plan. And also I need some voice actors. I need someone to send in the lines for that as well. I need what was it? I need Lynette, so Natasha. But yeah, that can all be dealt with. So yeah, that's why Gacha, for the most part, is actually comparatively easy to make. I didn't think I would say that, considering how much of a pain the Mutant Girl was. But in all honesty, it's not as bad as one would have originally thought. It's just because I go through the issues of animation, and also the animation side of the animated poses are limited. So as you most have seen in the Mutant Girl, they do the same poses most of the time because those are the ones that I can make the most use out of. Whereas in other gachas, you can see that they have more defined things and more, for example, fighting poses. Whereas I had to skip the fighting scene because there is no fighting animation that is serviceable in the animated poses of Gacha Life. Which is again why in Help Let Me Go I had to switch to screen caps for the kicks, etc. So that's gonna be a thing. I'm sure I'm still do some walking and some running, but essentially I'm gonna keep the animation to somewhat of a minimal. It also means I can use all of the colors because for example, I've limited the use of green in the Mutant Girl as of lately because that's the best color that I can use to actually crop out in chroma key. That doesn't mean anything to you, but it means I can remove the background to actually animate over a different layer. Julius, of course, as he wears green, is an absolute pain to animate because he ends up wearing green most of the time, and I can't actually crop him out using green, so I have to get a completely different layer and separate him from the rest of them. I'll go through that more when I go through the behind the scenes. I want to do a behind the scenes of the entire season 1 of Mutant Girl, so I'll get some of the voice actors to come along, record their thoughts as well on their process and what they thought. Maybe some of the people who used to work for the company, but have had to go for varying reasons. I'm not singling anyone out, it's just there's several people who have come and gone. But yeah, I think I'll go through that, talk about the actual procedure, show you a bit of the behind the scenes of how it was actually made, what trials and tribulations came around, and the reasons as to why so much changed, both in terms of quality and casting and basically everything. It's so interesting going back and watching the other episodes and seeing what the process was. I mean, on one hand, it was 10 months in the making, but at the same time, 10 months is quite a long time. That's almost a full year. That's from March to December. And it was only just in December. It could have easily gone to 2020 if I hadn't released the last episode on the 31st. But yeah, that's another thing as well. Why things were separated into part 2, like episode 8, for example. And I saw them before. They're just walking the opposite way to me. I've gone in a circle again. Yeah, but like episode 8 and episode 10, why they were separated into different parts. And why episode 8 part 2 is so short. Yeah, that will all be explained. But also I want to work on the new Gacha series because I've been really inspired to do so. I mean, I've already written a full episode of it. It was a post 3 days ago. I've written a full episode of it. I have started on episode 3 because I didn't realize I was going to do episode 2 in between and then go back to episode 2. So basically 3 episodes are currently going to be written. Obviously it's going to be a lot longer, but that's how it stands for now. So, at any rate, that will not have a regular release date or anything. Nothing's going to have a regular release date anymore. As for the Mutant Girl Season 2, because there is going to be a Season 2, I've said this before, that's being worked on as well. I actually congregated with Shiny, I think yesterday? No, the day before. And no, yeah, actually no, it was yesterday. Yep, and we wrote a little bit of episode 2. I might go ahead and finish that, considering that we've got towards the point where it could possibly finish, and then, because I started writing halfway through, and he wasn't there, and then he came in halfway, so it wasn't really fair in terms of where to start. So potentially, if I finish that off, Shiny, I hope you don't mind, if I finish off episode 2, then we can work on episode 3 from the beginning. I feel like, given what you said to me last time, that's a preferable arrangement. But do correct me if I'm wrong, before it's too late. And yeah, you might be wondering why I'm writing season 2 with Shiny. It was his idea originally to do the opening premise of season 2. I then expanded it later into an actual season instead of a mini-series. And that was actually decided quite a long time ago. So I saw no reason to not really keep him on, because that is a very private procedure. It's not like he has to interact with anybody else who he's had run-ins in the past, which is basically the entire company. Yeah. But and in fact, actually, I've been discussing the new series, the new Gacha series with Maya. So there's that too. I guess I did end up doing a lot of an update actually in what I was planning. As for the outtakes, yeah, I'm sure I'll manage that. I just forgot with everything else that was going on because of Tales of Snake North. That was 2 days worth of non-stop recording. And honestly, I don't play as much Minecraft as I used to. So I was all Minecrafted out, I must say. And also, I feel like I'm going to, once I've finished that cutscene that I was going to do, I feel like I'm going to close the server and go back to single player, because there's a bit of an issue that I think is happening because I'm a multiplayer. I could be wrong, but we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, in terms of one thing else that I was actually thinking about was the fact that basically my channel goes through like batches of 2 in terms of years and what I end up doing in them. The exception being 2013, because I had that issue with uploading and nothing was able to be posted. So yeah, nothing about it. 2014, 2015 was basically the time where I was still very much into gaming, you know, Mario 63 Season 1, and the Minecraft stuff I was doing, Pixelmon, obviously. You know, there's quite a lot of those. So a lot of game related. Some of the very first roleplays I did, you know, like the one that Snake North is based on, actually, Gomen al Viejo. That's the prequel to that series, by the way. Still canon. And yeah, that came out in 2015. But and Fortress Pascal and its many failed iterations in the past. So why do I keep forgetting what I was going to say? Yeah, so that was the gaming phase, I guess. Then, I suppose, 2016... Oh, 2016, actually, that was another gaming year. Yeah, I guess the gaming era was that time, those 4 years or something. 2013, 2016. Then, 2017, 2018 was definitely the AFMAL era, or at least the pinnacle of that. I still do AFMAL stuff now, but much less so. Now I'm more into Gacha. It's almost like 2020 is going to be the second phase of the Gacha year, where I fully dive into it, I suppose. Did I do much AFMAL in 2017? Not really. Only a couple of videos. A couple of the you know, the major ones. You know, Behind Green Eyes and The Truth About Travis. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't as clear in my mind as I thought it would be. I guess walking about does clear one's head a bit. I'm running out of time, so I can't update anymore. But expect more Gacha to come. Please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters. On that note, until next time.